Welcome to another video, guys. Today we'll give you a Libram Paladin guide and coaching gameplay from a coaching session I did this week. The deck is one of the best choices you can pick if you want to be climbing to Legend, and it has above 60% win rate from Diamond 5 to Legend, so I hope this video helps you play better with and against Libram Paladin. A like and a subscribe would really be appreciated. But now, let's get into the video. This deck has been high on the radar for a lot of people even before the expansion released, and for good reason. It has a lot of tempo potential and it has insane mid-game too. If for some reason the game still hasn't ended, you have a lot of late-game potential too, with Liadrin and the Crusader. So all in all, you should have a pretty good time with the deck throughout the entire game. Like I said, this deck is the perfect choice to climbing to Legend with, but once you hit it, the meta shifts strongly against it. Skilled players know how to play against it, and the Grandmasters tournament backs that statement as well, since the deck wasn't doing too great there too. But if it's easy Legend you want, you can't really go wrong with it. We were able to hit Legend from rank 4 live on stream in less than 3 hours, with a score of 14 wins and only 3 losses, which felt pretty great. If you don't want to miss out on the other coaching sessions I do live on stream, make sure to follow me on Twitch as well, where I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday. If you wish to hire me for a coaching session, hit me up on my social medias and we will work it out. Now, let's go over the list I chose for this session. I included one consecration for better games versus Demon Hunters and Rogues, but it can also be used as a late game combo piece with Libram of Justice or Bara for instance. One seems to be enough, cause most of the time you won't really be looking for a reactive spell like that, but having one felt nice. I included Barov back into this list, since playing without him didn't feel as great. Knowing you have him lets you play your Librams of Justice a little more freely, so now you will have a plan C if your first 2 Librams aren't enough. I wouldn't advise you to craft it if you already don't have him just to be playing this list, but if you have him, slot him in because he feels good. Same goes for Murger. It's a great sticky 2-drop with late game potential too, but if you don't have him, just replace him with a shot bot so you have a sticky 2-drop on which you can land your buffs on. I included only one Blessing of Authority here, since even though it's pretty good to get it when you need it, sometimes it just feels clunky, especially in a tempoed out Allura, for which you want to activate the spell burst effect before attacking. Lastly, we're running only one Crusader here, cause most of the time the game ends before you get to play any of those, and top decking 2 of those when you don't need them feels awful too. Like I said in the last video, I really think this deck is going to get nerfed, and we will probably hear about it on the next Thursday if Blizzard follows their patterns. The deck is just a little bit too strong, too high rolly and too consistent, especially on lower ranks, so I really think Blizzard will tone it down. I do expect that Braggart is gonna get bumped to 3 or 4 mana, since a 2 mana 12/12 ain't no joke in the late game, and a 2 mana 4/4 on turn 3 is pretty busted too. Goody 2 Shields also feels overtuned, so I think her stats are gonna get touched, dropping her to a 3/1 or maybe a 4/1 or a 3/2, depending on what else is getting nerfed. Allura has the biggest high roll potential from the whole list, and being able to drop her with an 8/8 Divine Shield taunt next to her as soon as turn 3 feels just a little bit too busted, with a coin and first day of school, which can single-handedly close out games. So I think she might get bumped to 5 mana, or her text might change to cast a spell from your deck that casts 5 mana or less, but we will see. Devout Pupil might get bumped in the mana too, since you get to discount him quite easily, but time will tell. Anyway, the good news is, those are all cards that are gonna get good dust return if they get nerfed, so I hope you followed my advice and you didn't press the Mass Disenchant button. Here's how the matchups look like. Fast decks like Aggro Demon Hunter, Secret and Stealth Rogue can be a problem for the deck, and Gibberling Druid is somewhat favored too, and Mages can be awkward as well, but anything else is pretty green or just at 50-50. Skilled Priest players can also be very punishing for you, but you shouldn't see too many of those during your climb to Legend, so you should be good. Just to be clear, you will see Priests along the way, but probably not Skilled Priests. For the mulligan, you always want to keep your Eldor Attendant, First Day of School, Hand of a Doll, Libram of Wisdom, and Allura. Murger is also a good keep, so you have a sticky body so you can start buffing it out on your next turns. And if you already have a 1-drop, you might also keep Goody 2 Shields too. You can even keep her when you don't have a 1-drop if you're going second, since she is such a great drop on turn 2, and she will stick around and stick a lot of damage. If you already have a 1-drop, a buff, and a Goody 2 Shields, you can even keep Braggart for some early game tempo, since dropping a 4/4 on turn 3 or 4 with something else feels also pretty good. So don't hold him too long for huge value when you can drop him for huge tempo instead. If you already have a good curve going, you can even keep Zealot or the Truth Seeker, but don't keep them if your mulligan is bad. Now let's go over a few tricks with the deck. You can abuse your Libram of Wisdom quite a lot if you discount it to 0. If you have a few minions on the board and a tall target you need to kill, you can start the trades with your buffed up minion, so you get the Libram back in your hand and you get to cast it on the next minion you trade with, and you repeat that till the target's dead. And that way you will effectively discount your pupils, and also your Liadrin will get bigger. Think about how you wanna use those Librams of Wisdom, and think about if it's worth saving one so you don't get silenced, hexed, or sapped. Another tip here would be the way you use your first day of school. We all know that discovering first or drawing first is a good mindset before you start doing anything else, but with the new spell burst keyword, keeping one 0 mana spell can be pretty good for you, or a cheated out spell burst on the Allura or a second divine shield on the Goody 2 shields. Don't use it just because you can, but only use it when you really need a 1-drop that turn or you wanna activate a spell burst. But don't overkeep it either. If you don't have a turn 1 play and you have a turn 2 buff, then definitely use it and choose the better 1-drop that's gonna stick around, so you can ensure your smooth transition to the mid game. Also, don't be afraid to use your Librams of Justice as a single target removal for something big. You have one more of those, and Baroth is also in the deck, so killing a big or even medium minion on the board on turn 5 just so you retain your tempo might be the optimal play for you. And lastly, let me give you a few tips against the Priest matchup, since a lot of you hate it and actually think it's unwinnable. Don't try to high roll them too much. Bait out their removals without going all in, and separate your buffs so that your minions are at 4 attack each. Sure, priests have time rip now, and even 4 attack dudes are not safe anymore, but if the priest uses 5 mana for a 4 attack dude, that's a win in my book. So be a man and spread him wide. Also, try to save a Libram of Wisdom so you don't get mass dispelled or plagued, and you should be good. That's gonna be it for the guide part. Now let's see some games from the session, so you get to hear some of these tips in action and you get a better feel of the deck in game. Enjoy. Even if Druid wasn't so good, just the sheer high roll possibility that those cards offer is absurd to remain at the state it is.
It's ridiculous. Like the possibility of being absolutely insane.
Yeah, same for Paladin. Like too much too early with that Braggart. Druid has to get nerfed. Paladin has to get nerfed. Freeze Mage has to get nerfed. I think you do use your first day here. Should you craft Braggart? I mean, you're probably gonna get your mana back. I guess Urzul is fine.
Yeah. The Shield Bearer is really not awful to have, though.
It's
to get
fine.
some buffs.
He gets to kill it for free. I guess you Libram, the sooner the better. This time, Goofy 2 shits.
The best defense is a great defense.
1-2 more mana? Yeah, I think it's perfectly balanced at 4 mana. Like, at 4 mana, we're used to seeing bullshit like that. Oh, there's your perfect curve, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, slap him.
Can't get any better than that.
Because at 4 mana, we're used to seeing 4/10s, 8/8s, shit like that, so... What makes that card better than the others to be at the fucking 2 mana? Like, we've already bitched enough for a 2 mana 7, 4/4 and 4 mana 7/7. Why do we have to have a 2 mana 12/12? Doesn't make sense in my book. What do we want to do here? I guess Murger.
I wonder.
Yeah, Murger, Shield Bearer, and give him the Libram. We're basically trying to build a board that doesn't die to breath.
The Shield Bearer?
Yeah, the Shield Bearer. Do we... You really like smacking, though.
I do, I love it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, usually it's fine, but right now we're really expecting him to play something, and actually we kind of played into his spell burst dance puppets shit. Oh really? You wanted that over the Libram? That was super dumb from this guy.
Yeah, that was really stupid.
Hmm. Do we justice? Feels bad. Do we bear off?
Let me think.
Thief burglar, yeah. Should we see the first day? Yeah, let's see the first day.
Let me think.
Bear off trade? Yeah, play bear off and trade into the 4-5. Okay.
Libram, no, that's
Yeah,
too
give it
easy.
another Libram. And play the Lost Soul, I think. Okay, that's something. They should change priest's name to Mind Rape or something. Mind Raper.
I hate Priest so much, man.
Everybody does. Even the people playing him hate
Yeah.
Priest and playing against Priest. It's that much bullshit, you know. Nobody likes playing against Priest, not even Priest. That says a lot.
Possibly a
Oh,
Libram of Justice to hit either the Veil Weaver. I'd hit the Veil Weaver.
Let me
And it'd be
think.
coin with the Bounty
You
Weaver.
are not prepared.
it's dumb, but I think we do it.
I'm blind.
I bet.
Yeah, just kill that 2-2, like, fuck it. And just hero power.
Reporting for duty.
Everyone likes Priest, yeah. If it's opposite day, that's all. That's. Thank you for the follow, Luma girl.
You've got me fired up. Now we're cooking.
I think this is the best blessing of a 4
Yeah.
you can pull off.
And smack the
Yeah, you're
4-6.
gonna face the 4-2 after that. The 4-1, I mean. Do we play the pupil? Yeah, play the young Dragon Hawk and pupil on the Dragon Hawk in the middle, basically. We don't really have a buff for it, but still, he doesn't know. He's gonna use something too much on it. Indeed, Venom still remains true. Told you he's gonna go overboard for that. Okay, finally discount for the Libram shit. And good thing we didn't use our Libram shit there.
Yeah, good. Good call.
Okay, so Eldor. And play the Imp and make the Imp into a 4-attack bullshit as well. And Hero Power, apparently. Could have Hero Power first just so we're spread out better, but it's fine. Save your smack, it's
Save that,
pointless.
Yeah, I don't like smacking with that one as much. I like smacking with the other one.
Yeah,
I love it. It feels so good.
well, not against Priest. Okay, don't get lucky, you bullshitter. Okay, that's pretty good for us, because we get casted again and we get late Liadrin soon. Maybe even next turn, even though we haven't used shit. Do we lay Liadrin here? Like, If he had a plague there, I think he would have used it again.
Yeah.
So Libram of Wisdom on the 1/1.
Let me think.
Lady Liadrin is not gonna fill her hand, is she? We barely played any buffs
I
on
think
us.
so.
Yeah, play her. I think we're going all out here.
Yeah.
Okay. Libram on the 2/2. 2 times. Actually, let's not go overboard. Use the other Librams on the 4/6. Make it into a 7. And go face with everything. And hero power. I don't want to throw the Brigard right now, like...
Got the Blessing of Authority too.
Hmm?
We got the Blessing of Authority in hand too.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't really buff too much for, doesn't do much for burst, but... It's good for a possible
It's
trade.
stupid because you can attack first before you use it. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
What do you mean?
Like you can attack face and then play it.
Yeah, but I mean, so
It's just a weird wording on the card, you know? Like in other card games, it wouldn't be like that, I don't think.
I don't know. Okay, what do we do? What do we do?
I think we gotta trade that thing.
So yeah, Libram once on the 4/4. Don't trade yet because we don't have enough room, do we? What should we play first? Play one Brigard. Now trade with the 5/5. With the 5/5. Give it to the 1/1. Make it into a. Yeah, give everything to the 1/1. I think. Actually, we don't really want to have everything on it. Stop at 4. Yeah, give it 4. Give the rest to the Liadrin. Give it. Go face and hero power.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, it's kind of broken as well, Bedham. Maybe they should do something about Librams not being able to go down to 0. In which case, I'm not even sure if the Libram Wisdom is gonna make the cut.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't survive.
Okay, last effort from the guy. He's dead on board right now. Healed for 1 and GG. Hand of a dull smack face. Consecration was also lethal. Fucking got him. Sad priest noises. I love them.
Yeah. Music to my ears.
Yeah. Was that for rank 2?
Yep.
Got him. Another doo-doo hunter. Blue.
This ends now.
Hey, sounds good, dude. I hear it's quite challenging keeping up with being a call center guy, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty neat job to get.
We're not prepared.
Eldor attendant for sure.
I'm blind.
And I think you do keep the consecration, but can we afford to keep the others? I don't think we can. Follower number 142 for the month. Okay, I like what I'm seeing. Lord Barrow is also pretty sexy against this shit. Hey, there's Huffer. Rufuch! Refuch! Refuch your life. Do we ever coin out a second Eldor here? I think so.
I think so, because we don't really have much of anything. That we
Yeah,
need to
go
save
for it.
between.
I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, so... Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Hand of a doll relevant.
Yeah, you can get it yourself, dude. There's a command for it. And you can also watch my guide for it, if you're interested. Okay, that's sexy. That is very sexy. This guy's conceding right now. Show him the hand. Show him the back of your hand.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Yeah,
Told you it's a concede.
I'm about to say there's no way.
Yeah. Okay, full stars or one?
Just a couple more of them, man. We're almost actually to legend. Yeah, 40 minutes.
Are
can
we
do
at
it.
one?
Just about one away.
So full stars.
Yep.
Okay,
We can do it.
let's do it. Now I'm definitely not confident we're gonna do it today
Oh, yeah,
because
for
it's
sure.
such a short
100%.
time frame. But
Yeah, 100%.
I will
we are killing it.
fight with honor.
Consecration might be a keep here as well.
Against the rogue, yeah, a lot of stealth shits. Okay, Eldor and Consecration feels kinda good. Yeah, that was over, dude. Yeah, Venom, have these opponents.
I cannot
Dude,
wait
why are we
to
drawing
win
good all of a sudden, man?
Secret duds. Maybe it's our time to have fun, you know?
I've drawn like
How
garbage all the
in
time with this deck.
shadows.
It's a good deck, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to get through the mud. Yeah, hero power smack.
Reporting for duty. Job's done.
Better be something.
Yeah, consecration seems real strong against this
Mhm.
deck.
It is! Well, this is definitely goofy two shields.
Yeah.
The best defense is a great defense.
Goofy two shits.
Job's done.
And now we have a proactive and a reactive play
Yeah.
under
quite a
our
good
belt.
hand. Pretty good hands, 2 games. in a
Sage
row.
would be pretty gay, but not
Yeah.
too gay. Sage backstab would be the gayest.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
Hero power would be very cute.
Think.
Cheating. Stop being such a snowflake, not bad. Something's gay, we're gonna say it's gay. Deal with it. Diamond 4 with the Druid. Keep at it, dude. Killing it. Killing it. Backstab is still an option. Pussy. Stop doing what you're doing. Stop. Stop.
They better make a big old
Butt fuck.
questing adventure. Oh, jeez.
Barra, where are you, son?
Yeah, jeez.
Barry! Barry! Wow, big plays. Goody two shits again, huh?
What can we do?
Well, he doesn't have cards anymore, so that's cute. I think
Yeah.
we should remain wide. Eldor and Goofy are fine. Eldor on the left. Well, Goofy on the left now.
The best defense
And
is a great
go face.
Job's
Rogues still very much enjoy having a wide board against them. So he has one stealth guy in there. Cool. There's your consecration. Perfect. Perfect board clear. Time to concede, buddy. So, double trade into consecration gives her divine shield back, so that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Nice suit. Yeah, big secret passage right there. I mean, it was correct. It could have been very beneficial for him, but he just got butt raped there. Like, the deck consists of 50% one-drops.
That card's actually kind of a problem. The Wand Thief in there, like just getting the random mage spells. Like
Yeah, now we have to play against Combustion, as Trim said.
deal with it.
Cool. UL. Two of these, haha. Yeah, I think we go for a Zealot.
I feel bad for
Hero power, and your face trades the free 2, and the other, and trade the 1/1 as well, I think.
If he draws another secret passage, that'd be unfortunate.
It would. Ooh, that's pretty sad. That's pretty sad,
he's
bruh.
burning, dude.
He
He's
still's
burning,
gonna
yeah.
combo off now. He can get a big mage spell. Nice. Nice. So,
I think we
Hand
alter.
of a Doll first. See where that takes us. Cute, but I think it's still the Aldor. Yeah. Rank 1, baby!
I think we can
Well,
do it. You know?
we can
How's that?
definitely do it. 3 quick wins, let's go. I mean, they don't even have to be quick wins, like 10 minutes per game is pretty average. Let's do it. It's kind of a reactive card.
Yeah,
I think just Libram, right?
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay. Where's our 1-drop? Okay, that's pretty good. Although it's not as sticky as we'd like to be.
Oh, we did it. We did it.
Oh, there you go. Let's go.
I cannot wait to read
That's a lot of skill right there.
Yeah.
We did the thing.
That's honestly like such a big thing.
It is a big thing. 1-3 is always a big thing. Okay, cool. Coined
it
out, so
control
there's that. Could be short Demon Hunter. Let me load his deck real quick. This is definitely the Murger. Yeah, so Sheer, and yeah, there are plenty of decks running it right now,
Yeah,
and
it
they're
seems to be the
all
control.
tempo-y. No, they're all tempo-y.
Really?
No, it's actually control. Yeah, they run the what's his name, dormant guy.
Yeah. Yeah. The Anton or whatever.
Okay, so Libram and Hero Power face.
Should leave him the murder.
I mean, can you Libram the Hero Power if you're doing the Hero Power second?
True.
I wonder.
Facts.
The control one shouldn't be too bad. A priestess might prove difficult.
Could be awkward. Could definitely be awkward.
I actually played one of these before we got on the stream.
How'd it go?
I think I won, but it was close because of priestess.
Ah. On 3, he has that shit. Okay, he gives us our shit back. Murger this early is not too hot for us.
Be Goody or Zealot?
No, we always Zealot. Oh, actually, yeah, we always Zealot because next turn. Yeah, it's a Zealot.
I feel bad for
And wait a second with the smack. They don't really run oozes, but they can. It's a possibility for sure. It's a bad tech card for them in my book, but
Yeah.
nah, I think you smack face. Even though they can really heal a lot. I don't know if it was such a smart idea or not.
We'll do it, bro. We're sending it, man.
Okay, so you can Libram and then Pupil.
Yeah. I like that.
Libram and then Pupil. Do we go face?
I do love.
I think we do, man.
I think you saved the weapon though.
I think we definitely go face, though.
Okay. Add a 1-cost spell. He's gonna probably silence or burn mana. Or twin spell, worst case scenario for him, I guess. Which is still pretty OP. He used his second smack with the Warblade without really buffing it. That was kind of weird.
Kind of bad.
106 viewers, dude. That is my fucking record right now.
Because we're on the final boss, bro.
Probably, but who told him?
Yeah, they just sensed it, man. People know.
Yeah.
There's a change in the wind.
Yeah. That was me. Okay, Pharaoh's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know, you got some money, Kuzzle? When are you gonna buy a mic?
Demons.
Oh, word?
Okay. One slice? No, mana burn. Okay, we can't Pharaoh, but still we're happy.
You
Oh.
are not prepared. I'm
Yeah,
blind.
that's... Our thing still costs 1.
I mean, you can't even kill it, so there's that. Thanks for the follow, I am there. I think it's Abyss. Like, how does he deal with an Abyss? It's a free 6. We don't really care if it casts or not. Play it on the left side.
Yeah.
Become
Let me go over his deck real quick, see if he can punish us somehow. Just go face. Weapon included, because we can top deck another weapon. How many games to Legend? This is the final boss, yo. Let's go. Does have the heal, so there's that.
such a beautiful shield.
Okay, that's a lot of heal, but
Yeah, but not a big deal.
still. Trade the 2/2, please. Yeah, I don't think there's a spell that can
Wait,
fuck
we
this
have
up.
to attack with the Abyss first, just in case she casts the hero.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
no,
yeah. Attack with her first. Good thinking.
And then Pharaoh's blessing him.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. That was smart.
Brightness goes.
Okay. Didn't play around anything, but I mean, we did play around it. We didn't get punished bad. There you go, dude.
Oh yeah, man.
Just under 3 hours. 3 minutes under 3 hours. Fucking killed it, yo.
Yeah, not bad at all, bro.
Not
We're
bad at
gonna have
all.
some fun.
Money well spent, am I right? I mean, other sites actually charge like $100 for a legend or some shit like that. Nah, dude, $25, we got you, homie.
Hell yeah, man.
Fucking killed it, yo. That was
For sure.
that
For
was
sure.
that was
But
pretty
14
good.
and 3, man. 14 and 3, you really can't beat that.
Oh my fucking god, did we like literally win how many in a row? 10?
Yeah, I think it was 10 games in a row or so.
Damn, son. Nerf when? So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope this helps you play better with and against Libram Paladin. A like and a subscribe would really be appreciated. Thanks for watching. I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.